Why does football have to be gay? Why can't it just be football? Dez Bryant, the former Cowboys wide receiver, he ain't having it, man. He ain't having the NFL being gay, shoving pride. Shoving pride? What? Down our throats. You know, we got a month of this crap. These are wild statements to make. What happens if you don't go out of your way to support who's stooping who? Get in a good mood, jump in a cold tub and watch highlights of inside the NBA on TNT. We got a monster for you today. Michelle Tafoya joins, and United States Senator Jim Banks, my friend, joins to talk about does Angel Reese in the sky. Oh, us fever folk an apology. Us indie folk an apology. Yeah, they do. The sky, Reese, of course, the WNBA. You can't be calling us racist and then saying, we didn't find anything. Oh, hell no. And Dez Bryant SLAMS, the Pride Month of the NFL. We got a monster. You're right here. I got a Pacer shirt on. Let's do this. Don't At Me starts right now. And oh man, when you get in a cold tub, it stays cold. Hey, welcome. Hope everybody is having a fantastic morning. Dez Bryant, the former Cowboys wide receiver, he ain't having it, man. He ain't having the NFL being gay. He ain't having the NFL being queer. He ain't having the NFL being transgender. We'll get into that right now. Former Cowboy wide receiver Dez Bryant is slammed the NFL's woke nonsense, my word, not his, of Pride Month. Pride Month. Let's tell us all who's stooping who. Who's stooping who? Anyway, as the league joins a litany of other sports entities and brands in shoving pride, what? Down our throats, and not like that. You know, we got a month of this crap. You know, we got a month of hearing all of it. Veterans Day, Memorial Day, Labor Day, Columbus Day. People that had a lot of stuff get a day. But, hey, if you're, stooping a same-sex person, we're prideful. We got to listen to this crap every single day, and I stand with Dez Bryant. I don't care who you're stooping. Does not matter to me one bit, but I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear about it, and stop stuffing it in front of kids. Just stop it. People are free to love whatever they want in America, which is why our country is the greatest on earth. But does the American citizen, this is written right here, and I'm reading it, because I think this is a really good question that Nick and Davey came up with. Does the American citizen need to be subjected to these viewpoints for an entire month? You want to have Gay Pride Day? Yay. Go fight, win. But a month? Child, please. I honestly don't care until they go in front of kids. And then I figure as a guy with a platform that loves kids, you got to stop that crap. Actually, this happened. True story. A few years ago, they had that gay pride parade here in Indy, and a bunch of men, 30, 40-year-old men, hairy-backed animals, were riding around on bicycles in the parade naked. And I called it out on my show in Indy, and the director of the parade called in, and I thought, oh, boy, this is going to get me in trouble. And she agreed wholehearted with me. She said, that will never happen again. That was embarrassing. That was beneath us. So good. At least these entitled folk have a little bit of sensitivity, at least here in the great city of Indianapolis. But damn, do we got to ride around naked? Do we got to wear assless chaps? Do we got to wear leather and whip each other? Do we got to have bondage in parade? No. How about you class it up? How about Gay Pride Class Day? Instead of Gay Pride, show that we're wild and crazy and idiotic in front of Children's Day. That's just me. Let's get to Dez Bryant. Here's a little screenshot of Dez Bryant. Here's a little screenshot of the former wide receiver. Can you make that a little bigger? My eyes are bad. Bryant's post reads, football is gay, football is queer, football is transgender. These are wild statements to make. Excuse my silliness. I'm going to proudly tell my boys football is none of these things. I have nothing against gays, but this is far from right. Why does football have to be gay? Why does football have to be queer? Why does it have to be transgender? Why can't it just be football? Huh? Here's another thing. This says VO, 30 seconds of Dez Bryant. Here's a little Dez Bryant talking about it, I guess. Or video only. I think that's what it means. Here it is. Look at this. What? 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 All right. Football is freedom. Football is America. Football is accepting. Football is everything. Football is for everyone. Okay. Who cares? We don't know that? Proudly supports the Trevor Project. One accepting adult have a 40% lower risk of attempting suicide. Well, that's great. Now, the Trevor Project sounds awesome. Anything you can do to slow down, stop, discourage, whatever the right word is, teen suicide, I'm in. I am. But that's just pandering to me. I love the Trevor Project, and I hope people decide to donate to it. In fact, I will donate to it. But you don't need all that stuff before. I'm not mad about it. If that's what you need to do, that's what you need to do. But, I don't get it. I don't. And I know I'm old and white and stupid. I get all that. This is another post. That NFL post was from 2021, apparently. Here's Dez Bryant further. It's gay players in the NFL, but forcing it in people's face, especially children, can send the wrong message. Football is real community, like the gay community. Imagine telling gays they have to advocate for straight people. They probably would have a problem. They probably would. They probably would. Armando wrote a great article about it. Dez Bryant pushes back against NFL gay pride advocacy, forcing it in people's faces. I've said this forever. I don't care who you have sex with. I don't care. It does not matter to me. In fact, I would argue one of my best friends growing up was the first, and this is sad as hell, first person to die of AIDS. Knew he was gay, and this is at a time of far less tolerance. Didn't care, never have cared. And I will say this, at least making it public has made for more acceptance. And I'm glad about that, very glad about that, exceptionally glad about that. But do we have to have every single entity throwing it down our face? Haven't we moved beyond? Maybe we haven't. I'm not in the gay community. Maybe we haven't. Maybe there's still hate and violence out there. I don't know. But I will say this. A lot of people are grandstanding. A lot of people are showboating. And I do not think any sexuality at all, whether it is boys with girls, girls with boys with boys, or girls with girls, needs to be thrown out there in front of children. Hell, we put PG-13 ratings on things. We put R ratings on things so that children don't come in and see nudity and sex things. But we put 0 on gay pride parades. We put 0 on anything to do with the LGTB, whatever the hell else it is, community. We put 0 on it. It's like, well, you can do anything you want. Why? Well, you're transgender. Carte blanche. Why can I do anything I want? Because you're gay. That's bullshit. Again, don't care even a second who you're stupid. Could not care less. Just like I hope you could care less who I'm stupid. But damn, in our faces all the time. Here we go. The Lions didn't actually, they're going to get in trouble. Send a post for Gay Pride Month, but change their avatar on X to a lion in rainbow colors. You got to, right? Joining the Bills, Vikings, also rebranding their Vikings logo in rainbow colors. Yay, we're rainbow. Tampa Bay Bucks posted they are proud to support Pride Month and implored fans to join them at events, including the St. Pete Pride Parade and the Grand Central State Fair. The Chargers similarly posted a gay pride page on their website that includes Chargers gay pride wallpaper, a coming out handbook, and a gay calendar of events. When's a heterosexual calendar of events? I think it's called the Vivid Awards, where we give away porno awards. Rams say they are encouraging fans to join us in celebrating the LGBTQ plus community this month and all year long. Rams, who in 2014 selected Michael Sam as the first openly gay player drafted in the NFL, have never encouraged fans to celebrate the straight community on social media or on any level. Celebrate straight pride. Yay! This is all so idiotic, so dumb. Hey, the Bengals, Browns, Cowboys, Colts. What? Colts? Really? Chiefs, Raiders, Saints, Jets, Eagles, Titans. They all said, we're good. They have not posted Pride Month messages. All right. Well, good for them, I guess. It'll be interesting to see the backlash. Like, what happens if you don't go out of your way to support who's stooping who? What happens? I don't know. And before you get on my ass, understand this. I don't give a damn about a parade either. I hope you have a great parade. I like parades. They throw candy at parades. But do we got to have naked people? Do we got to make it X-rated? Can we have actual pride? Well, we're expressing ourselves. Yeah, well, okay, great. Can we have actual pride? Can we have actual class and pride? I'm cool with all of it. But can you do that? I've never seen you do it. I've never seen the gay community have a parade that has been classy, been traditional, and even if it's not traditional, I don't care about that. Do something unique. Do something more fun. But can you have a little pride and not make it X-rated in front of children? I don't know. For some reason, y'all get off on doing stuff in front of kids, and I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Hey, you enjoying the show? I bet you are. You are, aren't you? You are. Go to OutKick. Do it right now. We appreciate you watching the show. We do. If you love the content, which we know you do, make sure you head on over to youtube.com/@OutKick/videos to like, comment, and subscribe. That way, you'll never miss any of the great content. Speaking of that, yesterday, I don't even know if I talked about this. Yesterday, for the first time ever, I wrote a review of a restaurant, and it sucked, and it pissed me off. And then I felt bad. Like, oh, man. And I couldn't really take it down, or I didn't know how to take it down. I'm not mad about doing it. The restaurant that I went to, a pizza place there, a chain, was so bad that it compelled me to say I got ripped off. I did. I'm not going to say the restaurant on here, but I wrote a review. Hey, you can write a bad review. I mean, I don't care. What do I care? We all know this show is awesome. Suck it. Just like the Coug. Hey, Bill Simmons is speaking what we're all thinking. You should be speaking. We would be thinking. As a podcast host went on a show to claim that he believes woke ESPN will F up the legendary Inside the NBA show featuring Shaq, Kenny, and Charles. A word about Kenny. Kenny is a very underrated broadcaster. Kenny is unbelievable. Kenny is great. He is the setup man. Hey, Charles, why don't you ever buy a woman a watch? Charles, there's a clock on the stove, dummy. Kenny's the best. But Ryan Russillo inserted a joke about Mina Kimes replacing Kenny Smith, which predictably got the woke, sensitive Kimes all hot and bothered, along with her allies at Awful announcing, don't go after Mina Kimes. Hey, here is Bill Simmons' fears of what's going to happen to the legendary Inside the NBA.
And it's still going to continue on ESPN.
Right.
Yeah. And yes,
Just say what you want to say.
I think ESPN's going to fuck the show up. I don't care if I get aggregated.
Zag. I didn't understand.
I think they're going to fuck the show up. I don't think they unless they completely change how they do commercials, the show is going to be different and people are going to be pissed and Barkley and those guys are going to be pissed and I think it's going to go badly. The only way it doesn't go badly is if they do the commercials and they give them the lengthy segments that you need to have that show work. They're going to have to change how they do it. They just paid so much for the NBA that if they don't do that and they do these same short, terrible segments that you're about to see in the finals where it's like a 1.5 minute halftime and it's like a 20-minute pregame, if they do that, they're going to the show up and everybody's going to be mad.
Well, apparently they're not going to. They're going to make it a bigger deal, go do a long post-game halftime and then a long pregame halftime and then a postgame. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I like that they're doing it from the same studio. It'll have the same look. Here's Bill Simmons.
Whoever's running ESPN has not cared for this entire century about this. This is something they knew was a problem, and they just didn't care. They just cashed the checks from the commercials.
Yeah,
They did not care about the quality of any show they had.
Well, everybody's whining about this show. The people that aren't whining about this show are the people doing this show. Well, I'll get into that here in a minute. During Game 1 of the NBA Finals, the 5 individuals on ESPN set got 1 minute and 20 seconds of airtime. There were so many commercials that the few brief seconds of analysis given was an interruption to the never-ending onslaught of ads. That's Matty Yoder. I like Matt Yoder. If the network tries to fit EJ, Chuck, Kenny, and Shaq into their commercial-driven formula, it won't work. It'll be the biggest waste of money since Ben Simmons' max contract. Oh, no, I'd say the biggest waste of money since Katie Nolan's contract. I mean, Katie Nolan got paid like $1 million while all of us were busting our ass. And, you know, she was like the it girl, and you are going right now. Who's Katie Nolan? That's my point. Russillo makes a joke about the DEI-laden ESPN. He knows. Russillo knows they're going to insert the lovely and talented Mina Kimes into the discussion.
And that's the thing ESPN can't risk with that show. You have to have these guys after games weighing in a big picture on stuff that only really Barkley and Kenny, like that's where the show really matters. And they can't with it.
What if they replace Kenny with Mina Kimes?
With ESPN people?
Okay. All right.
Just thinking a crossover appeal, like off the Stephen A point. Like,
his point is he's trying to cover it, but his point wasn't Stephen A. It was like this place is so DEI stupid that they would be dumb enough to take someone that doesn't know her ass from third base about anything but is on TV because she's an Asian woman and put her on the show. That's the ESPN model. Oh, wait a second. It's the greatest show in the history of ESPN. You got 3 African Americans, but the truth of the matter is ESPN would want to put an Asian woman in there. Hey, why don't we have an Asian woman? Why don't we have a woman in there? Where's that clown Holly Rowe at? Oh, man. He ain't wrong. Instead, he went with one who has constantly been targeted by websites such as Fox Corporation. Fox Corporation owned OutKick as a DEI hire, implied that her gender and race have had more to do with her career success than her actual qualifications. Kimes recently attempted to reframe. Of course, Ben Axelrod. That's the only reason she's up there. What are you, nuts? We don't go after her. She went after us. She lied about us, but little Benny Axelrod and little douchebags and awful announcing, don't let the truth get in the way. We simply tell you what it is. Mina Kimes has as much of a resume to be on any show talking about football, basketball, baseball, hockey, whatever, as I have hair. None, zero, zip, nada. But hey, Mina Kimes is the far left crazy media's superstar because she represents them. We were all the downtrodden. We must have Mina Kimes. Have you ever listened to her football analysis? Yeah, it was the dumbest shit I've ever heard. When at least she talked about the Colts. So I figure if she doesn't know anything about the Colts, and that's the only one I did care about, I figure she don't know anything about anything else. And Russillo's right. It's not just Fox. It's everybody gets in on the joke. Mina Kimes is a ridiculous, lying, thieving DEI hire that is full of shit. That's the best way to put it. And we all know that ESPN is just dying to figure out a way to put Stephen A. in there. Dying to figure out a way to put Holly Rose, in there. Dying to find a way to put Mina Kimes in there. Can we get Chimichanga in there? Hey, where's the diversity? Where's a white analyst in there, huh? At least the NCAA tournament puts in Jay Wright. At least they do that. Gottlieb was there for a second, but all the management, not Charles or them, got mad. They got mad at Gottlieb. Where's a white dude in there? ESPN ain't putting no white guy in there. Hey, look, we got Ernie at ESPN. Oh, man. Charles Barkley went off on his own network trying to kind of I guess what he said was they wanted to make a pilot to be aired during NBA games, and Barkley is smart. He knows the business better than any of these douchebags. Here's what Barkley had to say about what TNT's trying to do to kind of keep the band together on TNT.
Okay, but does the show look like the show? It's inside the NBA, but it's on ESPN. Is that how you're positioning this?
Dad, we don't even know.
Okay, all right.
That's one of the reasons I was waiting. Like, yeah, I don't know what we're doing, and then TNT is trying to do something stupid behind the scenes. We taped a pilot about a month ago, and it was the stupidest I've ever seen in my life. You know, because we're not going to be on ESPN as much as people think.
Wait, what do you mean you taped a pilot?
Well, because ESPN, because we're only probably going to be working for ESPN like half the time to 1/3 of the time. So I think TNT wants to do something, and we taped a pilot about a month ago, and it was the stupidest ever. We're going to probably work on ESPN 1/3 or half the time. But they're trying to do something stupid at TNT, which is number one, it's a stupid idea for a couple of reasons. Number one, we won't have basketball highlights, but also we're probably going to be going up against an NBA game, and anybody who likes basketball ain't gonna say, hey, you know what? Let me turn off an NBA game that's on Amazon, ESPN, or NBC to go watch these four dudes sit around and talk about nothing. So it's complicated. And like I say, we taped a pilot doing stupid stuff, and it was just stupid stuff. And I wouldn't want to go out like that.
I like when Charles just gets honest about stuff, right? But I don't understand. I was listening to the interview with Dan Patrick. I really didn't understand it. Like, we're going to do a pilot for a show, see how it goes. Okay, that didn't work. I don't know what they're trying to make work. But I don't blame TNT. I mean, you got the best sports show that has ever been on television, and you're losing it to ESPN, but you're still producing it. It's a very odd thing, but I love that Charles just says, man, this is stupid. College baseball coaches have become the new morons. Now, let me just say right now, college baseball coaches are out of their mind. That guy at Tennessee is kind of nuts. But listen to this. This is a new level. College baseball, we got beef. Where's the beef? It's right here. East Carolina coach Kevin Schnall went off on Florida coach Kevin O'Sullivan in response to how O'Sullivan treated NCAA tournament staff earlier in the morning during a heated altercation revolving around a scheduling change for the Gators baseball team. Florida coach Kevin O'Sullivan was very upset with the schedule change for today. He ripped into the NCAA staff here in Conway. He also reported had things to say to the Pirates as they crossed the field this morning. Should be very interesting. Here is what the coach, Kevin Schnall, had to say about a national championship coach, Kevin O'Sullivan.
One last thing I have is I have to say this, and I don't know if I'm supposed to say this or not, but I believe in standing up for what's right, and what transpired this morning on our field. Another coach disrespected our associate AD, who works as hard as anybody in our entire program. He disrespected our field crew, who are the salt of the earth. These guys would do anything for our program. It's not okay. And this needs to be brought up. Absolutely disrespectful. As a coach, it's our job to mentor young kids. And the way he treated the 2 site reps, the way he treated our associate AD, the way he treated our field crew is absolutely unacceptable. And that's what I'm most disappointed about. This is a national champion coach who thinks he can come in here and try to bully people around. Disappointed. Disappointed, somebody that a lot of coaches look up to. For him to act that way, really disappointed. He disrespected a Hall of Fame coach who's the site rep here. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, man, good for him. Baseball coaches are jackass. I know the Wake Forest coach is being accused of saying a gay slur yesterday. I don't know whether he did or not. I saw the video, and I just saw the video of this idiot, the Florida coach, yelling and screaming at a guy. Look, we all done things we don't want or we're not proud of. I certainly did during my coaching career, but damn, good for this coach. Good for Coach Steve Schnall for standing up for his guys, for standing up for what is right. You know, the arrogance of these little coaching guys, once you're out of coaching, you're like, man, shut up. Shut the hell up. That's why I like guys like Jay Wright. They won. They didn't make a big deal about it. They did their thing. Nobody lost their mind. You know what I mean? Good for that guy. I wish somebody had done that to Coach Knight. I wish I had done that to a couple jackass coaches who acted like jackass when we played. Huh. All right, Deion Sanders is opening his mouth about his son, which means he's lying. What do you want me to tell you? He weighed in on Shedeur's draft slide while speaking on Ashanti Samuel's podcast, revealing that it hurt to watch the process unfold. I bet it did. No, really, as a dad, it's got to hurt. Nobody liked that before going on to state that it may be a blessing in disguise for his son. That I agree with. He's going to the right team. Cleveland Browns don't have a quarterback. I don't give a damn if they tell me Kenny Pickett or Joe Flacco or Dylan Gabriel. No, they don't have a quarterback. He got a great opportunity. Providing Shedeur a chip on his shoulder, similar to how Tom Brady used it for being picked 119th as motivation for his NFL career. Now, understand this. There's only about one Brady every 10 years. Now it's Brock Purdy, maybe every 20 years. If he's actually using it as a chip or if he's just bullshitting us. That's the deal. Brady used it as a massive chip, got to work. I don't know. Is Shedeur Sanders? Don't know. Have no idea. Hope he does. I kind of like the story. I don't know the kid. I watched the kid at the Radio Roni and Entourage, and people were acting like idiots, so I thought, well, all right. But anyway, here's what Sanders had to say about his son.
I know there's a lot of rumors about the next level, and I can't see that. Yeah. I can't see the next level, and I think a couple people who may have taken shots at my kids, they were afraid that I would go. That's where the shots came from. All you got to do is just sit back and listen. People don't want to do that. They want to create these narratives and create these stories and then attach them to a kid that ain't never done nothing wrong.
Yeah. How does that make you feel when you see your colleagues or your peers going in on you, man? Like, how does that make you feel?
No idea, man. You have no idea. We've always been in front of the camera, so they know how to navigate. They know how to handle themselves. Yeah. And you're not going to catch them in no foolery and no mess. You're not. When you sit up there and say something like, he went in a meeting unprepared, like, dude, Shedeur Sanders, who's had 6 different coordinators, who has still functioned and leveled up every time we brought somebody new in, and you're gonna tell me situation. You're gonna tell me he had on headphones.
So you a dog, your kid's a dog, and dogs gonna always rise to the top. You know what I mean? That's what I believe. You know what I mean? Then we're talking about
it did hurt. The Bible says God uses the foolish things to confound the wise. So it was some foolish stuff that went on, but you know what? That gave them something that they needed.
Yeah, that's all bullshit. I mean, there's nothing wrong with somebody saying, yeah, the kid was unprepared. I mean, maybe he was prepared when he played. I don't give a damn how many coordinators he has. I don't give a damn if he went up levels. I mean, if you are cocky, if you are arrogant, and you didn't study, didn't prepare, you're coming in unprepared. And that's what more than one NFL guy said. So stop. Well, he had 6 coordinators. Who cares? I mean, you can have a great career and then jack around, believe your own bullshit, think you're going second, have daddy say, we're not going here, we're not going there, and you don't prepare. And then you come in with headphones. You think people are just making that up? Of course they're not. So Deion Sanders can do all that Deion Sanders stuff, but he's full of shit. No, just accept it. Hopefully your son learns from it, and then he goes and works. But more than one person, I mean, numerous people said the kid was unprepared. The kid didn't have any interest. The kid acted silly. The kid acted foolish. I mean, we heard it everywhere. Don't even try. I had 6 coordinators and always went up a level. No, he didn't. He was fine. He was good. But damn, it's a job interview. You know, let's just say for the sake of argument that you work somewhere You work on local TV. ESPN, OutKick calls you. All right? Yeah, you're in this position to be interviewed based on the performance you gave previous, your talent previous. Now you got to come in and interview with other people at a higher level. If you are unprepared, the people at that higher level don't give a rat's ass. Your talent got you in the room. Now you're interviewed for the next job at the higher level, and Sanders didn't understand. I don't give a his daddy can quote scripture and all that mess in his words that he's talking. It's all just mess. No. Hey, I get that he's protecting his kid, and he should. But the background should be, the backstory should be, hey, man, you acted like a jackass. I saw it myself. I saw it at that. Now, somebody's going to say, did he get arrested? No. Well, you're just a middle-aged white guy. You're right. But I kind of got an eye for what's real. I watched him walk into Radio Row, and I just stood there and watched. He's acting like a clown. Whoever was next to him was acting like a clown. Whole group of people with him were acting like clowns. It was like, damn, could you be more entitled? I mean, that's the first thing I thought. Wow, I don't want that. Now, I do want the Sanders that gets his ass in the room and goes and studies. I would want the Sanders that got knocked on his ass. But don't give me this mess about he didn't do this, he didn't do that. Dogs always rise. Oh, shut up. Shut up. We'll see. Yeah, I don't know. You rose up to get in the bowl. You did a great job. Don't give me that bullshit. We're supposed to just sit back, and when guys get preaching and talking and all this bullshit, we're all supposed to sit back and go, yeah. No, the truth is your son acted like a jackass. I don't blame you for defending your son. There's nothing wrong with that. But don't try to put it on other people. That was on him, period. And that's the reason he fell, period. It isn't about talking all that mess and all that bullshit. It's about what was actual. And what was actual, he didn't handle interviews. He wasn't prepared. He acted immature, and he dropped. We'll see what happens next. I'm rooting for the kid. There you go. Rising star in the NFL Diva wide receiver list, George Pickens. In fact, George Pickens might be number one on the list. Although I got to tell you, Stephon Diggs is making a move. I don't know what was in that pink bag, and I ain't calling him daddy, but Stephon Diggs on a boat for $300, Alex. Whew, he's at the top of the list. Who is the biggest Diva wide receiver, Alex? You're right, Bing. Is it George Pickens? Not yet. You got ways to go, son. Keep being diva-ish, but George Pickens went on record to let everybody know that he forced the vaunted Pittsburgh Steelers to trade his sorry ass while in a social media argument with Steeler fans, and that the team would have gladly kept him if he didn't force his way out of Pittsburgh. I got guys doing this stupid shit all the time to me. I got a guy named Drew Schifino that I kicked off of West Virginia. You begged me to stay. Sure I did. But somehow you got kicked off. It's the latest playbook in the playbook of the stupid. And make no mistake, George Pickens, love you a long time, not nice talent, ain't going to win with him. LMAO, I play for the Cowboys now. Stop reminiscing, bro, and trying to justify the trade. Y'all just lost another good player to fake reports like this one. I forced Buddy. That's the new thing, Unk and Buddy. That's like everybody, all young people went to a conference, and they said, all right, when you want to disrespect someone, call them Unk or Buddy. Unk means they're old, and Buddy means they're, stand over here, buddy. They were gladly keeping me. Have a nice day and blessed one, my guy. Everybody's my guy. George Pickens. Here it is, a saga of this dumbass diva wide receiver. Numerous unsportsman conduct penalties, several on-field fights with teammates, coaching staff members, and even fans. Multiple helmet slamming incidents on the side. I'm just competitive. No, you're stupid. Nah, you're uncontrollably dumb. Arriving late to Christmas Day game, getting to the stadium 1 hour, 25 minutes prior to the kickoff against the Chiefs. Well, George Pickens, adios. Good for the Cowboys. They did it again. They got another pain in the ass that's going to lead them to probably a decent regular season, and then they'll crap to bed in the playoffs because, again, when's the last time a diva wide receiver won a Super Bowl? I'll say A.J. Brown, but he stopped the divaness. He did. He did stop the divaness. Is that a word, divaness? I think it is. All right, left-wing media, they've got the worst sports takes of all time. A woke gasbag, Carrie Champion. Carrie Champion used to walk around ESPN like she was something. Really good looking. Jamel Hill used to walk around like she was looking for someone to say something nice to her. They continue to peddle a lie that nothing is wrong with trans athletes competing in women's sports. Here's Scott Jennings on these two morons.
Science behind this hasn't been studied enough or talked about enough for us to make a real full opinion. I do agree girls' sports are for girls.
You said this hasn't been studied enough to know that, look, we've got millions of years of study. Men and women are different, and that's why it's unfair to put boys in girls' sports. We don't need to have any more biological studies. It is fundamentally unfair.
But do you see, genuinely curious, any accommodations that are reasonable? You have a 16-year-old who wants to participate in sports. In your mind, is there any way that that can happen that is fair?
Of course.
How?
Have the people participate with their own biological sex. Boys in boys sports, girls in girls sports. It's worked for a very long time in this country.
But it's not that simple anymore, Scott. That's where we are. So what do you do when it's not?
It's 80% of the country.
But it's not that anymore. So what do you do with the 20%? Do we ignore them?
Yeah,
do
pretty
we
much. I mean, it's an 80-20 issue.
Scott, everybody's ignoring it.
And you just said it was a minuscule number.
It's a minuscule number.
Why do we have to upend?
We don't have to. The reason why I said it was a minuscule number, Scott, was because I don't think it's fair that you're scaring people at home thinking that boys are trying to compete in girls' sport by the droves and that this is going to take over and you were scaring people at home. It's just not happening, Scott.
But it's not happening. This is like the most competitive track meet in the country.
Carrie Champion, close your eyes, say something stupid, and then keep saying it. It's not happening. It's happening everywhere. What is wrong with you? That's why you just can't listen. Scott Jennings, I salute you, man. You must take Xanax. Hey, look, Percocet would make me sit through that, I suppose. But damn, they have to sit there and listen to these idiot women? I mean, these morons that have no moral compass. They have no concern for women. I know why they're on there. She's kind of hot, so she's on there, a diversity thing. But damn, when you say something stupid like that, we have no evidence that men are stronger than women, then why don't we do this? You know what I'm going to say? Have all the transgender folks play against the men. Why are they all playing against the women? Just go play against the men. Everybody wants them to play. Physical fitness, activity, let's go. Mental health, go play with the men. It's very simple. Bobby Barack posted this. Last year, Jamel Hill called for Iman Khalif to sue people for calling him a biological male. According to the gender test just released, he's a biological male. This is the best line, though, from our leader, Clay Travis. Our leader, Clay Travis, says Jamel Hill is now 0 for his last 268 in her left-wing sports takes. I think he's giving her a little bit of credit. That would mean at 269 she was right. I don't think she's ever had a right sports take. Carrie Champion, you go, girl. Close your eyes. You should have gone, you should have talked louder and yelled. Carrie Champion walked around ESPN like she was something. Anyway, all right, we'll be right back. And when we come back, Saquon Barkley's on the cover of Madden. I'm going to give you a history of the Madden athlete. Hey, we got Michelle Tafoya and Jim Banks, Senator, the great state of Indiana. Does Angel Reese, yes. WNBA, yes. And the Chicago Sky, yes. The state of Indiana and Indianapolis in particular, an apology. Yes. We'll be right back.